Hi, I'm Heather Skoll. I'm a certified Rubenfeld Synergist, and today we are going to be chatting with Joan Small, who is also a certified Rubenfeld Synergist. In fact, we were in the same training, which was RST, Rubenfeld Synergy Training 15, together. So actually, I saw the session that we're referring to live 24 years ago, and we're revisiting it again now with Joan to see what the impact of this session was, some of the things Ilana did, and where Joan is today. So let me introduce Joan to you first. For first, you can say hi to Joan, and then I'll introduce her officially. Joan has always been fascinated by the integration of body, mind, and emotions. Joan is a certified Rubenfeld synergist and owner of the wellness initiative Synergy for Health. Joan was a registered nurse and then owned a successful long-running school photography business. So this session took place during RST 15, and this time with Ilana helped spark Joan's career as a Rubenfeld synergist, guiding clients to identify and overcome deep-seated patterns of grief, anxiety, trauma, which can develop into physical and emotional ailments. Joan's clients discovered a new way of living and living in the inspired life that they deserve. So, welcome, Joan.
Thank you, Heather. It's a real pleasure to be here with you today.
So, I want to just talk about our sessions and just sort of bringing a little context. We're going to be watching a session that is not lying down on the table, but it was a chair session. What is a little different is kind of the accessibility of where a synergist, in this case, Ilana, could touch. It's a little bit different than when you're lying on the table. But what is the same and similar, and what you may not see in this conversation, is that before any sessions, as synergists or within our training, we signed an agreement to agree for permission to be touched in the session, but also an understanding and always reminded that if there's anything that feels uncomfortable, we can stop the session at any time. And I wanted that to be understood and known so that if you are a practitioner and you wanted to integrate touch, there's a whole lot more that goes into it than just taking some of the ideas and then suddenly touching a client, because it's a pretty sacred thing to be touched by trained listening hands. Okay, back into our interview with Joan. We're going to see some clips today from a session with Joan called I Am Winning My Life. And Joan, maybe you can first talk about the title, tell us the title and how that title came about, and give us some context for when the session took place.
Sure, Heather. Well, what really happened is it was the last day of our spring training module in 2002. And knowing that we only had one more training session in the summertime, and we've been together for 4 years as trainees, I was sad. I was really feeling sad that I was going to be missing my fellow colleagues that I have gained such a great relationship over the 4 years. And knowing also that the next day or two, I was going to be heading back home to a dysfunctional relationship with my husband and also moving into a new home, which I really didn't want to do. And then I had my session with Ilana, who took me from that place of sadness to connecting to the importance of my own journey in my life. And so thus I am winning my life back.
Yeah, I'm Winning My Life is the title, and it came
Mhm.
out of the session, but what you've described kind of leads us into the first clip. So I'm going to play that first clip for our viewers.
There is a lot of sadness.
Yeah. So can you gently begin with, I'm sad.
I'm sad.
You've been protecting your feelings a lot.
And I came to a real discovery today that it's not necessarily that I don't feel the feelings, it's that I'm not allowed to express them.
Yeah, that comes right in. Yeah. I'm not allowed to express them.
Or I've chosen not to.
Yeah, well,
rejection. There's a lot of anger that gets expressed to me. A lot of resistance.
you express anger, or
No,
anger is
I can't.
expressed to you.
Yeah, because
When you share your feelings and express your feelings, anger, the response is anger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who gets angry with Joan when she expresses her feelings?
My husband does.
Wow, Joan. I remember it like it was yesterday. So the first thing that really struck me was when in this part of the session you said there's a lot of sadness, and Ilana said you repeat that you are sad. She brought it back to you. So what was that like for you? And what happened after that?
I feel that when Alana told me to say that I'm sad, it was like, okay, that's me. I'm owning it, rather than there's a lot of sadness out there, that I'm feeling. And I loved how she verbally really worked at understanding what the sadness was about, and developing into some angry, and working with it, and just the tone of her voice, just um, she was listening to me. That's what was really great. Um, Looking at it now, I noticed she had her hand on my shoulders, which I'm sure she picked that up quite well, because that's one of my favorite body parts that holds a lot of my emotions. So I know there was a lot of nonverbal things or cues that happen in the session, and she seemed to just be there with me on that.
What's interesting when you described that you felt like she understood, and you started by expressing their sadness. She said, say, I'm sad. And when you dropped into saying, I'm sad, under the sadness was anger. Not only the anger you get back at you, but the anger you feel. And, it makes the word understand when we have someone who stands by us in this like understanding position. You can understand, like they're standing under you with support, and you can also get under the emotion, what's really underneath it all.
I love that metaphoric expression. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really, yes, for
Yeah.
sure, Heather.
Yeah. And Alana's hands were on your shoulder where that's where you're going to hold tension
Yeah.
or anger. And she was right there with it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Wow. Okay. So let's watch the second clip and kind of see where we go from here.
It's not just the ears I see the anger in his eyes.
Okay, so what are you afraid of?
Whatever he expresses, he takes it out on me.
Say that. I'm tired. I got to see if it feels okay to you, okay? I'm tired of I'm tired of being used for your anger and frustration.
Yeah.
Does that feel right?
Mm-hmm. I'm tired of being used for the brunt of your anger and frustration.
Yeah. Or your body's happy about that. And it started softening.
I'm tired of you using me.
To express your anger and frustration.
To express your anger and frustration.
Yeah.
Oh, Joan, I'm struck with your body and how you were getting more and more like, yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. And Ilana was trying to figure out, really understand, and then she sort of used the word like you're being used for his anger. And you could just see your body kind of like, just kind of relax, but in a collapsy sort of way. Yeah. What do you want to say about this piece?
It was like a sense of relief for me to figure that out. And it was so lovely how she was really checking in, and is that right? Does that feel right? And just confirming that yes, I'm getting it. And it also gave me the opportunity, if she wasn't getting it right, then I could say, no, that isn't right. And that's the beauty of how that questioning happens, and verification that can happen between the two of us, for sure. And to witness right now, as I was watching the video, my body just softening and releasing with that, like it, wow, right now I just kind of have that same feeling.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you just took the visual, for example, and you saw like the body go like that or your expression, you could say, was she feeling defeated or deflated? But in fact, you were feeling somewhat like a relief because somebody now understands you and what you're going through. So, Alana having the verbal with you, the hands on, and then also there's this space to say, did I get it? Does that sound right? Is this the right words? Is this the right feeling? You come to your own conclusion. The synergist doesn't say, "Oh, you're so defeated because of this." No, your experience of it is what is happening and being made to be understood. So it's a process rather than immediately someone's going to get exactly what's going on.
For sure. And what's striking me as well is the fact that it was helping me to understand me.
Yes, it helps that process, the listening hands, the words, the discussion, all help you
Mm-hmm.
or a client understand you, a client understanding themselves. It's not
Yes.
it's not for like me as a synergist or you as a synergist that, oh, we understand. Yay. No, it's not for us. It's for the client to deepen and understand themselves.
And what's really neat is the fact of connecting the words to my body response,
Yeah.
because then it becomes just much more meaningful and more, yes, I understand me better. Like my body is speaking to me and telling me this,
Yeah.
it's responding to those words. There's a real connection there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead with the next clip. And in the next clip, um, well, I want everyone to sort of watch maybe where Alana's hands are. If you kind of notice what kind of like there's some humor. So sometimes humor can offset some of sadness or anger. So for the viewer, these are a little bit of like things to look out for.
Well, his favorite expression is "Okay, you win."
Okay, so let's do that a couple. Okay, you win. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you win. Stay with that. Okay, you win. Okay, you win. Okay, you win.
It's not a matter of winning.
Yeah. Well, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. They've got this sport thing. But you haven't won, huh? It's not winning.
It's not a winning.
So if he thinks you're winning, how do you really feel? He thinks, okay, you've won. And what are you in touch with?
I'm not in it for the competition.
So I'm not competing with you.
No.
I didn't win. Sounds like more of a loss.
I just don't want to be hurt anymore. I'm tired of the hurtful expressions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tired of my girls having to watch all this.
Yeah. So they watch this.
I was just like a little kid. He's got so much going for him. He could have.
He has so much going for him. All right?
And he's got such a great family to support him, but he doesn't see it.
No. There's his eyes over his ears and his hands over his eyes. He doesn't experience the support and love of the family. Right? And you're in love with his potential.
Oof. Wow, Joan. Well, I know what stands out for me, but what stands out for you from this clip?
Well, of course, the last statement, in love with his potential, but I want to backtrack with that as well, with the fact of her stating, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, bringing in the humor. Because noticing my body position, how I was starting to lean forward. I don't know whether that was kind of a way of protecting my heart or what it is, because she put her hand at my heart there. But what happened, I felt too, was I was in a stuck place, and I couldn't kind of come up with, just what was going on, and that's the advantage of using humor in a session. And Ilana used it beautifully, like men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And boy, it just perked me up. Like, okay, now I could come up with what I was trying to share and express.
Like, I noticed you laughed, right? And laughing just starts to open up through the chest and the lungs a little bit. So it's a physical result of a little bit of laugh and the humor.
For sure. And I sat up too, right?
Yeah.
And just the explanation and how just that was so helpful for me. So helpful. And in love with the potential. Wow. I mean, that is something that I've just kept with me to today. Use it with so many ways. And this was a huge aha, just a huge aha for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So being in love with someone's potential, or you expect something to be a certain way, whether it's a relationship or a job or anything else, and it's just not turning out that way, but you keep banking on that potential. Eventually, it's important to realize the reality isn't what you thought it would be. And,
Right.
Especially in a relationship, a long-term relationship, eventually getting to that point, well, if that's what I'm in love with, what about the reality? What's really happening right now? And is this what I want to be with?
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that I had expressed it, he had the environment around him to be able to support him. But it's just like he wasn't seeing it. He was there with it.
No. The expression like you can lead a horse, to water. It felt like you had tried for so long to support, to help, to lead, to guide.
Mhm.
Yeah. And at the same time, you were just getting a lot of anger back at you, being
Mhm.
used for his expression of anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's watch the next and which will be the last clip of this conversation.
I have a sentence for you. I'm going to try it out, see how it feels, and you change it if you want to. The way he is not my fault.
The way he is not my fault.
Good. Does that feel right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so say that again.
The way he is not my fault.
What is his name?
Wayne.
Okay. The way Wayne is not my fault. Yeah. Chemically, alcohol, that's his journey. Yeah, you just open your eyes. Something come together for you. What was that?
It's his journey.
Yes, when I said it's his journey. Yes, dear heart, it's his journey. And it's painful to watch someone you love do a journey like this. But boy, do they do it. Your big challenge is not to take his journey into your body. That's his journey again. You have to separate yourself out. See him over there. But Wayne, this is your journey. I can protect myself and change me.
Protect myself and change me.
That's right.
Yeah. I want to point out to the viewer that the clip was sort of an edited piece of a clip. So there was some pieces of it that, like, there was a part where you're sitting on the chair, but then you're looking at Ilana, for example. There was maybe a little bit of that transition that was edited out. So there's just that to keep in mind. And so much there in this last clip. So much. So, Joan, what would you like to sort of start with that is really with you from that clip?
Was putting myself there at that time, and I'm thinking, wow, that was a lot. And I can feel it. I can still feel it in my body. It was a lot, and it was just so. She took me to a deeper level again. It's like going down these layers and taking me to this deeper level of. I had done the discovery and being in love with this potential. Now, what do I do with that? How do I handle that? And so she took me to the place about that. This is not my fault. This is his journey. And it was like, oh my, yes, it is his journey. And I have my own journey, and I have my own life to live as well. And his journey is not mine, and it's a choice. And just getting to that level, that place, that layer was so important to feel that discovery. And at the end where she says, I can protect my, you can protect yourself and change, I can change me, and helping me to own that as well. That recognition that, those old ways aren't working anymore.
Yeah.
Not serving me well. It's not serving him well. It's not serving my family well. And this was really, really significant as well.
Yeah. So as you got sort of deeper, in a sense, in the layers of the emotion, underneath the initial sadness was anger, and underneath this anger was this like learning that his behavior, using you as, putting negativity towards, wasn't you. It was, this was him, this was his journey. And underneath that was, wait a second, I have a choice now. And when you and Ilana, like you're looking at Ilana, it was this sensation watching it, and also remember being there. Now, I wasn't on the screen, I was somewhere else, probably on the other side of the room, but it registered in me then, and it's registering in me now of watching your face kind of register, oh, I have a choice. Underneath all this, I actually have a choice. And it felt like it went from where we could say you felt stuck and, you know, didn't know what to do. And by the end of this session, and the sessions were 45 minutes long, by the end of 45 minutes, there was a switch in you that you could kind of see registered on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you sort of come out of that session in terms of how did you feel, and kind of what happened maybe after that in your life?
Um, it was, I felt really empowered.
Mm,
I felt knowing that I had a choice and that he was on his journey and I have my journey, and I needed to win my life back. The theme of the session. And I really internally took that into my body, that it was his journey and I have my journey. And I knew at that point that we weren't meant to be together any longer as a married couple. And I knew at another point that something would happen, a situation would happen that would allow that to come to the forefront between the two of us, that it's not working. And I will say it happened like within a month of having this session.
wow. So in a way you were kind of ready and you were there, and within the month something changed for him to initiate a change.
Yeah. And I think that the big part of it too is how, even though he had attacked me in a way, I responded in a way that was very different.
Mm-hmm. You
Um,
were you were empowered.
I was empowered.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Wow. Oh, so I want to sort of point out, just going back to the idea, this was a chair session. The power of lying on the table is incredible. The power of being a client in a chair is incredibly powerful as well. And, since the year 2020, where maybe only some people did online or phone sessions, online sessions and phone sessions can also be powerful as well. And this was a really important demonstration of chair and how accessing your body in a way to listen. Alana could listen. Watching it and seeing it back, like it didn't feel like there were things missing. On the table, you can access feet or hips. It didn't feel like there was anything missing. the whole story was there, and your whole journey was there through the session.
Oh, for sure. And you know, a chair session can be very empowering, especially just one example. Thinking now and working with clients, that if a person feels kind of vulnerable laying on a table, a chair is a session is a wonderful option, because you have that ability to still have that gentle listening touch on the shoulders. You can touch their knees, even their feet. Um, and you can create some movement like Ilana did with me, where she started moving my body when she could feel that there was some movement that was needed. The voice tone is always there, whether you're on the table or in a chair, and the listening and the presence. And even with Ilana, with my session, where we made such beautiful eye contact towards the end, and I could feel that compassion, I could feel that support and that presence with her.
Yeah.
So yes, you can have very impacting sessions,
Yeah.
sitting in the chair.
Absolutely. So there's the listening hand, which is the aspect of touch, but you can get sense of vibration. Even like online, when I'm working with a client, I feel something happening in my hands, even though I'm not physically touching a person. So all these elements of the sessions, touch or a sense of touch, tone of voice, presence, getting under and getting to really understand what somebody is experiencing, asking and keep going until it's right for the client, the client's own awarenesses, like you did. And it's really the client's journey towards whatever they sort of come with, to leading to empowerment or a realization or relief. It could be relief just in a body part or relief in their life, like you kind of got to afterwards as well.
Yeah, and I think, I had some wonderful awarenesses that came from that session with Alana. One of the biggest one was the fact that every person is on their own journey.
Yeah.
And as a synergist, to meet that person where they're at in the session is really valuable. And the art of being present, to be able to use your voice tone to do the reflection back and repetition, and allowing the client to do as she did with me in the different stages of getting down those layers, as we talked about earlier. It really helps the client to really get it, because when you can feel what you're saying or what's being said in your body, it's huge.
Yes.
It's really huge.
So
There's a real integration, and it feels really empowering.
well, one of the principles of Rubenfeld Synergy is like the body knows the truth.
Yeah.
And the greatest gift of healing is already within ourselves, but a synergist can help open and unlock what that truth really is
Yeah.
inside the client or inside ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when it gets fully integrated, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. Ah, wow. So, Joan, can you talk about sort of where all this led for you? Are you still practicing? How could somebody work with you as a synergist?
Oh, for sure. I live in Edmonton, Alberta. I do in-person sessions, and I also do online sessions. So I do have a website. It's www.healingthroughsynergy.com. And my contact information is there, and some stories, and and my phone number, and ways of contacting me. So yes, I'm available to be of any assistance for anybody that, especially, are dealing with a lot with their maybe relationship situations, grief, anxiety, and trauma as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. Oh, Joan, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you and look at this 24-year-old session that is still so important, rings true today, still, getting those moments of chills and realizations, and really an honor to look back at Ilana and her work and what she did, and really how she touched, all of us and with her work and listening hands. Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
she was, yeah, Ilana was pretty special.
she was. Oh, well, thanks, Joan. Just for the viewer, if you want more information about Rubenfeld Synergy, you can reach out to rubenfeldsynergy.com. We have opportunities for trainings and workshops. You can also find more information at the Ilana Rubenfeld Foundation, which you would find on YouTube, but the website for that is the rubenfeldfoundation.org. So we have those two websites, and we hope that you're interested and you want to reach out and contact us and find out more. So we'll say goodbye for today. Bye to our viewers. Bye. Thank you, Joan.
Yay.